Alright guys, welcome back to Algebra 2. So we have one last thing we want to talk about here, and that is dependent events. We said yesterday that in dependent events, there is an important distinction that after you do something, after you do one thing, the odds of the next event happening is impacted. It's different, right? So there's a little prompt right at the top of this on that same page we were working on yesterday, saying using the same example from above, 8 red crayons, 14 purple crayons, 6 yellow crayons, 4 green crayons, assume once a crayon is selected, it is not replaced, meaning it's not put back in the bag. It makes the probability of the second event, the second draw, different, right? So let's label this kind of stuff. So we have 8 red, we have 14 purple, 6 yellow, and 4 green. That makes a grand total of 10, 18, 32 crayons in the bag. So we want to find, on number 17, the probability of yellow, then red. So we have 2 events, 2 draws from the bag. We want to see how they're going to impact each other and what the probability of each one is going to be. So in event 1, we're just looking for a yellow crayon. Well, that is 6 successful outcomes out of how many total outcomes, how many total crayons are in the bag? 32, right? Event 2, however, changes because after that first draw, we no longer have 32 crayons in the bag. How many crayons are in the bag? 31, because we already drew one out. Now, does it impact any of these numbers? Absolutely, because after that first draw, we no longer have 6 yellow, now we only have 5. So whenever we try to draw this red crayon next, how many red are left in the bag? 8. But how many total are there? 31. So what we can do is, just like with our independent events, what we find, once we find the probability of each event happening, to find the probability of the compound event, we multiply it. So 6 times 8 is going to be 48. 32 times 31, I got no clue, but let's find out. Let's see, 32 times 31 is 992. Now those can simplify. We want to simplify that fraction if possible. So 48 over 992 is 3 over 62. Fully simplified. So we have a 3 out of 62 chance of this happening. Let's try out one more problem here. Let's do number 18. And it says, actually, let's try out number 20. Let's do number 20. 20 says the probability of 2 green. So event 1, we want to pull a green marker out of the bag. And in event 2, we also want to pull a green crayon out of the bag, I guess, not marker. So in the first example, in the first event, there's 4 successful outcomes because there's 4 green there, and there's 32 total crayons. However, once we pull out that first green crayon, we put it off to the side. That changes the total number in the bag to be 31 because it lowers the total number of green crayons from 4 down to 3. So for event 2, how many successful outcomes are there? Only 3, right? Because there's only 3 green crayons left in the bag out of 31 total. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply across again. 4 times 3 is 12. 32 times 31 is still 992. And I'm sure that we can simplify that fraction. I imagine it's going to be 1 over 62, but let's find out to be safe. Oh, I wrote 13 over 992, my bad. That should have been 12. Oh, I was wrong. It is 3 3 out of 248. Cool fraction, right? So 3 out of 248 is going to be our probability of drawing 2 green crayons. But hopefully you guys can see how the dependent events change the probabilities from one event to another. All right, so what I want you guys to try out are numbers 18 and 19 today. Only 2 of them. Now, it's Friday. It's May 8th. And, well, this was the last day for seniors on our calendar. I know the rest of us are going to be going to May 15th. However, I am going to be calling it a year today. This is the last thing we're going to be doing in Algebra 2. So, if you've been following along with these problems we've been doing these past 2 weeks over statistics and probability, that's wonderful, that's great. Send me an email. You can take a picture of your work or of your answers. You can send me an email with those, or you can drop them off next week if we are doing another drop-off day. At the time of recording, I don't know if we are or not. But if we're doing another drop-off day, you can drop those off next week, or you can email me a picture of your answers. I'm going to take the next week to be grading all of your work from the last packet and this one. I know I'm a little behind on that. I am going to be documenting all the stuff we've been doing. I'm going to be doing kind of the paperwork of being a teacher and filling in for the state what all we've accomplished during this time. So if you have any questions about any of it, feel free to email me. The sooner you're able to email me your work, the sooner it's going to go in the grade book probably, because I'm going to have one day next week where I work on it. But as long as you email it to me before next Thursday, before the 14th, then it will have time to go in the grade book by the 15th. The 15th is the last day, or is the day that the grades are due. So as long as you send it to me before next Thursday, I will have Thursday to grade it, to put it in there, all that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to be good and set for the end of the year. I've really enjoyed teaching this class. I've enjoyed having you guys as students this year. I hope you've enjoyed it too, or at least not hated it, hopefully. But yeah, if you ever need anything, feel free to email me. Otherwise, it's been great having you guys in class.